One Zambia, one nation. This is Zanis News. To present, my name is Henry Himonde. The headlines in our news. President Hakainde Hichilema weighs in on Democracy Summit. Zambia's history displayed at Democracy Summit. Zesco land encroached. And in sport, Lazarus Tembo elevated to national team coach. The news in detail. President Hakainde Hichilema has challenged the global democratic community across the world to ensure that free, fair, and transparent elections become the hallmark of democratic governance in the world. Mr. Hichilema states that free, fair, and transparent elections should be the building block for contemporary governance of society. The head of state says it is imperative that the concept of free, fair, and transparent elections is prioritized as the global community seeks a democratic rebirth. President Hichilema challenged the second Summit for Democracy, which has officially opened today, to show how democracy can be delivered for citizens and address pressing global challenges. Mr. Hichilema observed that democracy has played a cardinal role in transforming and shaping the political system and governance of the contemporary global community. The president asked the Summit for Democracy to contemplate on whether the global community needs strong leaders or strong institutions for democracy to thrive. The second Summit for Democracy is a follow-up to the inaugural Summit for Democracy hosted by United States President Joe Biden in 2021, aimed at making democracy responsive and resilient to the needs of citizens. Zambia is one of the 5 countries, which include the USA, Costa Rica, Netherlands, and South Korea, co-hosting the second Summit for Democracy, which has drawn global participation of partner countries for democracy. During the virtual session of the second Summit for Democracy, the global democratic community condemned Russian invasion and aggression against Ukraine. British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak says there is urgent need to continue defending democracy to save citizens of the world from oppressive regimes. The second Summit for Democracy, being co-hosted by Zambia for the African region, is being held under the theme Free, Fair, and Transparent Elections.
The December 2021 Summit kicked off a year of action by participating countries to make democracies more responsive, more resilient, and to build a broader community of partners committed to global democratic renewal. Democracy has played a vital role in the civilization and transformation of the world towards self-determination and peaceful coexistence. A number of countries have made progress in their democratic dispensation. However, we still have detrimental actions that may be a threat to the tenets of democracy across the world. It is important in this session to put the concept of free, fair, and transparent elections as a foundation of democratic governance in our countries, and consider this perspective as we discuss democracy delivering strong institutions.
The second Summit for Democracy has opened virtually by world leaders calling for defending of democracy. Among the African leaders who have spoken at the virtual meeting include Kenyan President William Ruto and his Botswana counterpart Magwetsi Masisi, among other world leaders. Lakson Makoza now reports.
Calls from leaders of different countries to strengthen and defend democratic values have taken center stage in the second Summit for Democracy, which officially opened today, Wednesday, 29th March 2023. Zambia's President Hakainde Hichilema was among the world leaders who called for the defending of democratic values. President Hichilema further stressed the need to protect and defend free and fair elections.
And together, we are defending the human rights and fundamental freedoms of journalists, activists, civil society, and indeed members of vulnerable communities who are too often ignored by those in public office. So, together, we must continue to fight for free and fair elections.
Meanwhile, United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres observed that democracy and the rule of law are under threat across the globe.
But today, in many parts of the world, these values are under assault. The walls are closing in on civic spaces, constitutional rights are being curtailed, and civil liberties are being eroded. Freedom of expression is in free fall, dissenting voices are silenced.
Among the African heads of state that delivered keynote addresses include the presidents of Kenya and Botswana.
A governance system which vigorously demonstrates uncompromising accountability, robust checks and balances, total transparency, and participation by the people from the grassroots all the way to the top.
Our democratic ideals and economic transformation have long been set on a strong foundation of principles of democracy, development, unity, and self-reliance.
The two-day summit, which is co-hosted by the United States, the Netherlands, Costa Rica, the Republic of Korea, and Zambia, is focusing on reviving and protecting democracy against autocratic leadership. For Zanis, I'm Lakson Makoza.
Also in the news, stakeholders at the two-day Summit for Democracy are optimistic that Zambia is poised to accrue a number of benefits by co-hosting the summit with other 5 countries. The Center for Trade Policy and Development says the summit will provide an opportunity for the country to market its tourism potential and showcase its strong democratic stance to the outside world. Kalan Mchima has the details.
Zambia has enjoyed 59 years of political democracy thus far. The country has also seen peaceful transfer of political power. Among the 7 democratically elected presidents Zambia has had since 1964. It is against this solid political background, respect for human rights and respect for media freedoms, that Zambia has been chosen to co-host the second summit for democracy among other nations such as the United States of America, Costa Rica, the Netherlands, and the Republic of Korea. In Zambia, the venue for the summit, which is the Mulungushi International Conference Center, has been used to illustrate the political and economic history of Zambia dating from the 60s until now in pictorial form. A wing at the venue has been dedicated for this rich Zambian history, taking advantage of the international delegates who are visiting the country for the first time. Here, one will have an opportunity to learn the political and economic strides scored by all the 7 presidents of Zambia at both local and international level. This well-packaged information has alerted a renowned historian from the University of Zambia, Professor Bizek Piri, who says such exhibitions must be permanently replicated in all provinces for purposes of education.
Museums and exhibitions such as this one are very, very significant in keeping history intact because what you see, you cannot modify it. That's what it was. And therefore, it is very, very important that history is always maintained and has to be protected.
Professor Piri further highlights the significance and benefits of hosting the Democracy Summit.
This conference itself is also bringing those memories back, that this nation called Zambia is a nation that values freedom, peace, and unity. So bringing this conference here enhances and contributes to strengthen Zambia's role in national and international unity.
The second Summit for Democracy is being held under the theme Free, Fair and Transparent Elections as the Foundation of Democratic Governance. Kalan Muchima reporting for Zanis in Lusaka.
The second Summit for Democracy has provided an opportunity for the country to showcase its political and economic history to the rest of the international community. The Mulungushi International Conference Center, venue for the summit, has a display of the country's economic and political history dating from the pre-independence era. Take a look at this report by Michelo Luwinda.
Zambia is co-hosting the second Summit for Democracy with 4 other countries, namely Costa Rica, Netherlands, Republic of Korea, and the United States of America. The summit, which opens today and ends tomorrow, has attracted over 700 delegates representing different sectors of the economy from 22 other countries. The Center for Trade Policy and Development is happy that co-hosting the summit will enable Zambia to showcase its tourism and other investment potential that are key in a growing economy.
Well, the hosting of the Democracy Summit is a significant milestone in the development trajectory for Zambia. It does speak volumes to the perception that a number of countries are having towards our country, and it also places our country on the spotlight. With this summit, we are aware that a number of people will be traveling to come and participate in this summit. This indirectly creates opportunities for the country to earn some forex, and it also helps our country to market its tourism potential. And it is our hope that institutions like the Zambia Tourism Agency have done their homework in terms of helping the people that are coming through into the country to understand some of the opportunities or the places that they can visit.
Mr. Mwaipopo adds that the summit also presents Zambia with an opportunity to grow the number of its trade partners to enhance its trade volumes.
An opportunity for us to strike new trading partners. You've seen more recently we've had Turkey relaunching its airline into our country. It means that we are opening up ourselves for doing business, and we are also creating new opportunities for us to easily move goods and services. But it also speaks to our local manufacturers, because creating trading opportunities with other countries is one aspect with regards to trade, but there's also an aspect with regards to what we are likely to take into some of those countries that we are opening up for. So there is need, even on our part, to work around supporting local manufacturing, creating the necessary incentives and environment that would support the growth of our local manufacturing, because it is from such efforts that would have goods that we can ultimately export. More especially that African countries have been discussing on possibilities of reducing barriers to trade through the Africa Continental Free Trade Initiative. So we might need to leverage on some of those opportunities to.
The S4D2 is a summit aimed at underscoring the global desire for transparent, accountable and right-respecting governance. The first Summit for Democracy was held in December 2021 and was hosted by the United States of America. The December 2021 summit kicked off a year of action by participants to make democracies more responsive and resilient to build a broader society. Michelo Luwinda for Zanis in Lusaka.
Now, lack of power supply at Kawanga Christian School has resulted in poor sanitation, as the main source of water, which is solar-powered, only pumps water to the dining hall. School head teacher Christopher Hangombe says the solar-powered borehole cannot pump water for the entire school, as the solar energy equipment installed since the school's inception has become obsolete. Gift Banji now reports.
Lack of electricity for most public institutions such as schools and clinics has remained a daunting challenge for many years. The situation is even worse for boarding schools in rural areas. For Kawanga Christian Secondary School in Zimba district, lack of power supply is affecting the daily operations of this school. The school is now calling on government to consider connecting the school to the national grid as solar energy power supply, which has been used since the opening of the school, is becoming ineffective.
we were very happy for that, and that CDF funding has been increased so that such problems are well attended to. For us as a school, Kabanga Christian Secondary School, the hiccup that we have at the moment is that we are solely depending on firewood for. If we are helped in that direction in terms of cooking, and that we are well connected to national grid in terms of the school problems. For example, this time we are almost running the exams, but we have a very serious hiccup because when there is an overcast, we cannot print out, we cannot photocopy the exam papers for our pupils because of using solar panels. We have a bit of a problem because pupils do not have shower rooms, meaning that they are using outside pit latrines.
And the government has made an assurance.
A group of people from RIA and the different departments like ZEMA and the like, they came to pay courtesy at our office, and through the deliberation and discussions, they came to tell us that they are here in Zimba to connect us, not to national grid, but to some kind of solar panel.
Giftivanji, Zanis, Zimba District, Southern Province.
As we continue with the news, construction works for the Ron Bridge in Luansha district are almost complete. The bridge, which connects Ron constituency to the central business district, becomes impassable during the rainy season due to flooding. Details in this report.
Works on the bridge connecting Ron constituency in Luansha district to the central business district are nearing completion. Every rainy season, road users face challenges in connecting between the two places due to flooding of the bridge. In December 2022, government through the Road Development Agency, RDA, began construction works of the bridge at a cost of 2.6 million kwacha. The works were to be completed in 3 months. District Commissioner checked on the progress.
Technically, we are 80% done on this job. The critical jobs have been done and done very well because I've been coming here and inspecting. So this bridge here will stand for, the test of time. This is what we are looking for, a quality bridge.
The road users are happy with the government. The bridge is expected to be completed and open to the public before 8th April 2023. Karen Mshenywa, Zanis, Luansha District.
In Central Province, government has embarked on grading and resurfacing of roads in Kawe's Makululu compound. Kawe District Commissioner Lennox Shimwambwa, who inspected the roadworks, says the development is expected to ease movements of goods and services in the area. Details in this report.
Government has embarked on the grading and resurfacing of roads in the country's biggest shanty compound, Makululu. Kawe District Commissioner Lennox Shimwambwa says government is keen to see the place become more accessible.
Place like this, in this area, for us as government, it makes us proud. Why does it make us proud? Because the people, these are our own people. These are people that vote governments in and vote governments out. So we have an obligation to ensure that we support the people of Makululu, support our people of Chidilali and wherever, Zambezi, support them to extend that there's free passage. We have people going for maternity, we have people going for work and different things. So far so good. We are hoping that the contractor will be able to compact, but for that maybe put some gravel so that there's some good stability.
Ward Development Committee chairpersons from Momba and Makululu wards said over 10 kilometers of roads will be graded.
The grading of roads in Makululu particular is a milestone in Makululu district. This is the manifesto for the UPND, which they promised the people during the campaign. And now fruits are being seen to the community. Surely I think it should be 5 point something kilometers. So most of the roads will be covered in
From 11 to 1, now we are in Makululu. We have started from this lodge, which is going to the clinic, which we are saying that this lodge is a very good lodge, which is connected to the clinic, so that at least the movement shall be smoothly, so that at least the people can be access to the transportation issue.
And the residents are equally happy with the works.
Development so development
Kelvin Tembo for Zanis in Kabwe, Central Province.
In Lusaka Province, part of the land where the 33 kilovolts overhead ZESCO power line is being constructed from Luangwa Feira main substation to Zimbabwe's Kanyemba town has been encroached by local people. This came to light when a team from ZESCO visited the area on a fact-finding mission. Liz Tandumba filed in this report.
Part of the land where a 33 kilovolts overhead power line from Luangwa Feira main substation to Zimbabwe's Kanyemba town is being constructed has been encroached by the local people. Speaking during a courtesy call on Luangwa District Commissioner Lukuchkan, environmental social scientist Grace Zulu said some people are constructing under the power line which is under construction.
All the way from Luangwa substation to Kanyenze village. We tried by all means to avoid the people, but now they've started encroaching, like building along the way.
Luangwa District Commissioner Lukuchkan is appealing to the power utility company to expedite power connection to all households in the district.
The provision of electricity, which we also look forward to. Rural Electrification Authority was here. They would want to provide electricity to every other individual here, because electricity is life actually. That's developed. And the project that you've come for, it's a noble one with our colleagues across the river Zambezi, who are in need of that electricity.
The environmental scientists held stakeholder engagement meetings in Soweto community and Kanyenze village.
We thought that maybe it's only the Zimbabweans who are going to benefit. So for the information that you have given us, I'm sure we are going to take care of ourselves, especially our children, that we have not to build anything along the line of electricity.
Nyumba sana ifeneze kutali izizeve mzarusa chabendrama palasi paika mzaka blema ma leaders kapano honorable wacheya kuti onana onapanya nyumba.
7 kilometer 33 kilovolt overhead power line project which has reached Luangwa's Kanyenze village is intended to strengthen capacity and reliability of the power distribution system to support commercial and industrial operations in both Zambia and Zimbabwe. Lista Ndumba reporting, Luangwa District.
Also in the news, about 87 households in Mansa district have encroached on land belonging to the Luapula Water and Sanitation Company, which is earmarked for the construction of new water and sewer pipes under the Integrated Small Towns Water and Sanitation Program. Lewis Changwe has more in this report.
In 2019, Luapula Water and Sanitation Company started replacing water pipes with new ones, construction of new water tanks, overhaul of the sewer system, the construction of the treatment plant under the Integrated Small Towns Water and Sanitation Program. The $40 million United States African Development Bank funded program, which is being implemented in 4 districts, namely Samfya, Mansa, Mwensa, and Kawambwa, has their challenges. In Mansa, some households have encroached the water utility company land where the water and sewer pipes are supposed to pass. Local Government and Rural Development Minister Garin Kombo has visited some of the households in Mansa that have encroached on the land.
Inekwipisha vya chinomba ifinga vatufumia vakatutwala kuisa nangu vala tuperako ubwafirisho bumbi bwakuti twaikalira mongefi twaikiri.
There hasn't been sufficient communication, engagement, discussions to say we just want a portion to allow for a sewer line and water reticulation, which will allow them now to stop using pit latrines, as you can see, to go to waterborne toilets, to migrate. And I think that the council mayor should do a little bit more of such, to sit and discuss and correct the impression, such as what my mother has here, that we are being displaced. There's no one who's being moved.
Meanwhile, Mansa Mayor Njiko Msuku has appreciated some of the households that have complied with the council's request for them to reserve space for the water utility company to put pipes. Chipidi Makasa, Zanis, Mansa District.
In Eastern Province, the Help Africa Reduce Adversity project, a Germany-based company, has started renovating teachers' houses at Nyonga Primary School in Kasenengwa District. Project chairperson Linda Hara says the team is also constructing a community preschool for vulnerable children. Details in the following report.
Ngonga Primary School in Kasenengwa District of Eastern Province. Pupil absenteeism here has been recorded at 40%, as learners are said to be absconding due to lack of uniforms. For Little John and others who have continued to attend classes without uniforms, the feeding program is what motivates them. But help has come to the underprivileged children at this school, as a local female who is also a former pupil has partnered with a husband of German origin to render support.
A lot of children cannot go to school because they don't have uniform. So we decided to support 4 schools around my village, and then we buy uniforms for each school, 60 uniforms for the small ones, the middle and the big ones. Boys and girls, and then we dish them out once a year when we come.
The administration at this school is confident the donation of school uniforms will improve pupil retention.
At this school, we had the challenge of uniforms. Pupils did not have that interest of coming to school. They could see their friends in uniforms. Some had no uniforms, so they opted just to stay at home. So Wisha, who has been staying here, he's from Munyongo area, but upon seeing how vulnerable these children were, especially where uniforms were concerned, they came up with that idea of buying them uniform, hoping that maybe if they are given those uniforms, they would have that interest of going to school.
This is not all, as the couple has gone further to the school infrastructure by renovating 6 teachers' houses and also constructing a community preschool.
A teacher needs a bit of room to live, and if a teacher rents a room like 3-4 kilometers from school and they can't stay at school, it makes it very difficult for them. And when we came check at the houses they could not live in, so we thought maybe we do a bit of windows, a bit of doors.
We're doing right now with the uniforms we did right from the start, from starting in 2010, especially at the Nyongo school. In the beginning we also renovated the school building with windows and all this. And then later on we started to follow up these kids to secondary school, to college and so on. And now we start to do things in building, like our nursery school project or renovating the teachers' homes. And it's not a strict line. We always come here, we decide what is important to do, and then we do it.
Lobasi Mtafela for Zanis in Kasenengwa District.
We now take you to Muchinga Province, where learners at Isoka Secondary School in Muchinga have started a Plant a Tree initiative that has seen about 3,000 trees planted. This is in a bid to help fight the adverse effects of climate change in the district. More in this report by Freddie Piri.
Isoka Boys Secondary School in Mchinga Province has emerged as a trendsetter in the Nature Care Initiative. Plant 10 Trees initiative is feasible at Isoka Boys Secondary School as learners have planted 3,000 pine trees.
Nursery for our 3,000 pine trees.
Isoka Central Ward Councillor officiated.
Increased tree cover helps to lower the air temperatures and reduce the heat intensity on the greenhouse gas effects by maintaining low levels of carbon dioxide.
District Education Board Secretary Annie Pili encouraged learners to embrace the habit of environmental care.
Are exposed to topics that encourage economic sustainability and job creation. The activity that we're doing today is pointing to such a pillar.
District Forest expert explains the benefits of planting trees.
But you also agree with me that trees can be used for economic diversification, like we are doing here at Isoka Boys. Trees is also medicine. Many of the drugs are actually made out of trees.
Ice is the youth who cuts one and plant 10. It is by the plantation of one tree that led to the formation of the Amazon forest.
Joshua Piri, the school head board,
play an
states,
essential role in mitigating the impact of climate change. Planting of trees is one of the most important things we can do to contribute to the health of our planet. Forests are the lungs of our planet, drawing in carbon dioxide and breathing out oxygen.
Candidly, this is an excellent drive in the fight against climate change impact that is ravaging the globe today. Fred Piri, Zanis News, Isoka, Mchinga Province.
And in sports news, Zambia netball national team assistant coach Lazarus Tembo has been elevated to head coach. Tembo, who is Lusaka City Council netball club coach, takes over from Charles Zulu, who has been appointed as national trainer of trainers for coaches. The team has also appointed under-20 national team assistant coach Martha Kafupi as assistant coach for the senior team. And Kapirimposhi-based referee Davis Sijonga has been appointed as national trainer of trainers for umpires. The appointments are with immediate effect and are subject to review for a period of 6 months. Meanwhile, Tembo has named a 16-member provisional squad ahead of April's Pacific OC Sports Netball Series to be held in Gold Coast, Queensland, in Australia. The team is mostly composed of players that competed at the Africa Netball World Cup qualifying tournament in South Africa last year. The coach has also included Prison Leopards defender Ethel Pemba, who was instrumental in making sure that her team won the National Zambia Open tournament. That sports item brings us to the end of the news, but before we go, another look at the top stories in our news. President Hakainde Hichilema weighs in on Democracy Summit. Zambia's history displayed at Democracy Summit. Zesco land encroached in Luangwa district. And Lazarus Tembo has been elevated to the Zambia netball team head coach position. Thank you so much for watching Zanis News. On behalf of the entire news production crew, my name is Henry Himonde. Goodbye and see you for another edition at the same time tomorrow.